Hello everybody and welcome to The Park. I am your host, Paul Rodriguez, and this is my personal audio log recorded content. So, I am gonna try to continue where I left off from the last episode, which, by the way, I sound like crap towards the end of the last one. I was just listening back to it, and honestly, I wish I'd downed a couple of halls before I recorded that episode. And I guess also unrelated, I am very thankful for the outstanding support from those of you that are listening, and for those of you that personally messaged me about really enjoying this podcast. I know I don't really make this for you guys, but I'm really thankful for you. But what I am trying here is to have some sort of emotional outlet, but I do keep in mind that not everything I say and think should be on the internet. But the things that I do choose to talk about are still very close to me. And so to kind of open up about my insecurities again, kind of sharing a couple stories from elementary school. So not only was I a total jerk, I was really honestly such a bully in elementary school, especially early elementary school. There's a lot to go into here, and as for me sharing these stories, just to preface this episode, these are not stories that I am very proud of. I might make light of the situation, but I believe that the people that I have wronged during this time frame are and have been apologized to countlessly, I might add. I am a very repentful person, as in I have talked to these people in person and personally apologized. So yeah, that's the only way that anything could really come to a close, is with a mutual agreement, But getting on to the stories, I have a couple. I distinctly remember the latter half of elementary school, probably grades 3 to 7. I was just a horrible child. This is a shorter story than the rest of them, but I honestly don't know what's going through my head from these points. I was a troublemaker. I was causing quite a lot of fuss. But there was this kid out in the hallways this one day, and I decided to just pants him out in the halls, and he was hella embarrassed. Man, I was just a jerk, laughing at this dude in the hall, just trying to get his stuff from his locker with his pants around his ankles, standing there in his tighty whities. I would honestly punch myself in the face, knowing that I actually did that to an innocent kid at school. Needless to say, he went to the teacher and told on me, which honestly I'm really glad that he did. Oh yeah, at this point, by the way, he did pull up his pants before talking to the teacher, in case I missed that detail. But anyways, I was grateful looking back at it, but at the time it was snitches get stitches. I'm joking, but of course I didn't associate myself with that dude anymore. Another memory that I have of early elementary school about being a jerk was that I do not know how to have crushes on girls. Let me tell you, it was either treating girls like crap or getting walked on all over by them, which I guess is still the case for a lot of people, but for me, especially in the younger elementary years, having a crush on a girl was synonymous with I am gonna treat her like crap until she likes me back. So I think this is the first one, honestly one of my favorite what the hell Paul stories, because it will make you go, what the hell Paul, why would you do that? Anyways, second, third grade, we were finally allowed to go out for lunch by ourselves without the super close supervision of the teachers, and that meant we could play in the sandbox all by ourselves. Well, for me, I was playing tag with my friends or something like that, and I kind of strayed away from the group after a while. And there was this girl from my class, Asian girl, I guess I've always had a thing for Asian girls. But anyways, she was playing in the sandbox, building sandcastles or whatever, and me just being the horrible child that I was. Yes, I do realize that this sounds like it's coming straight out of a movie with me being the playground bully, but I went over to her and just knocked all of that down. I kicked down whatever she was working on, and not only that, it was a pretty windy day out, so like as I was kicking sand up into the air, all that really remains from her masterpiece were just left in her eyes. And yeah, I kicked sand into a girl's face, and also another classmate who also happened to be playing in the sandbox too. There was a lot more yelling and crying. They went right inside and told on me, and I suck at learning lessons, so that wasn't much of the end. But I do understand that I kicked sand into her face because I liked her. So yeah, that's your cue to go, what the hell, Paul? Because I asked myself the same thing. By the way, this is me looking back at these memories and coming to the conclusion that I did like these girls. I didn't acknowledge the fact at that time because, girls are gross. They have cooties. Which, funny enough, this next story this is where I actually learned the term cooties. So this was another girl, and the weird thing about this infatuation was it was the first time I ever stalked someone. Yeah. Well, stalking to the extent of a third grader at the time, and thank God there was no internet. Like, these kids today, man, like, I don't even understand memes anymore. I'm getting old. But anyways, not only was I a jerk, I guess I was also a creepy ass kid, because I would follow this girl around in my class whenever she'd go out for recess or go out for lunch or whatever like that, staring at her during silent reading, and also silently rejoicing the fact when we got placed into the same table group. Man, I was just disgusting. I remember trying to show off my scabs to her like it was a cool thing. Like, I look back and I cannot bring myself to say that I was that person. I am just so ashamed. Like, seriously, you're picking at a scab in front of a girl who's just trying to read? Like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? I really hope my kids don't turn out this way, or else I disown them. So yeah, at that point my stalking was getting really noticeable, and so one time I was out at the playground, still watching this girl from afar, and this older girl, probably like a year, 2 years older than me, comes up to me and says, "So, like, why do you keep following my sister?" And I'm like, oh shoot. Like, she asked me, "Do you like her or something?" And at that point, she was just like Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC, and I've just been caught. And I'm immediately backtracking, and she kept on following me, berating me about getting cooties, and then was also explaining to me what they were, and I did not believe her. But also, I was neurotic, so I stayed away because, man, I did not want to get cooties. I still liked her. I guess I just watched her from even farther, but I guess that was that for that girl. Not much of a payoff there, but I have one more story of a girl that I also liked in elementary school. And so this one is the most cringy. It wasn't me getting in trouble this time, but actually having the teachers concerned for me. So this is the third trait of my elementary school self was disgusting. Disgusting is in the sense of that I would do anything anybody tells me, or like I would do weird stuff to get people's attention. And so there was this girl, 4th grade. She was really outgoing, I guess, and the the only way that I ever really got to talk to her, though, was by being outlandish and doing crazy stuff to get her attention. And the grossest thing that I guess also intrigued her was that I ate gross things, ranging from like, lined paper to maybe a couple coins here and there. And then the one that I got a talking to for was ants. And so we were chilling in the courtyard one day, and she knew I did a lot of weird stuff. And, just looking on the ground, there were a few ants crawling to and fro. And I guess I kind of wanted to grab her attention. So I exclaimed to her, "Yo, I can eat ants. Want to see?" So I picked one up and I put it in my mouth and swallowed it. And damn, she was hella impressed. And so like she told me to keep doing more and more, and like every day like she'd ask me, I was like, "Hey Paul, can you eat another ant?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, of course." And that kept on going until the band teacher came out to put a stop to that fun. She got in trouble for it. We both got talked to about peer pressure and how I shouldn't give into it, and how she shouldn't be pressuring people into doing stuff, which I guess kind of worked because, I don't think I ate ants ever since. But that was the bit of my romantic life in early to mid elementary, and I guess that's it for this episode. I had fun recording this one for once. I think I'm just really having a blast with it right now. But without further ado, thank you for listening. Really loving you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in next week. Subscribe if you haven't already. You're not obligated to. It's entirely your choice. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are. And thank you all for visiting the park.